Welcome to EQBloom. In today's episode, we'll venture deep into the microscopic world of mitochondria, an organelle often described in biology class as the powerhouse of the cell. But that phrase doesn't even begin to capture its complexity. Mitochondria are dynamic decision-making engines inside every cell of your body. They produce energy, communicate with the immune system, determine whether a cell lives or dies, and even carry a memory of our evolutionary past. In this video, we'll explore how mitochondria shape everything from your energy to your aging process, and why they're central to health and disease. Let's begin with what mitochondria are best known for: energy production. Every second, your body uses ATP, adenosine triphosphate, to power cellular processes. Walking, blinking, thinking, even the electrical pulses of your heartbeat depend on this molecule, and ATP is manufactured primarily in the mitochondria through a process called oxidative phosphorylation. Here's how it works. Glucose derived from the food we eat is broken down during glycolysis and the Krebs cycle. This produces electron carriers, which donate electrons to the electron transport chain, a series of protein complexes embedded in the inner mitochondrial membrane. As electrons flow through the chain, they create a proton gradient that drives the production of ATP by ATP synthase. This process takes place in the intricate folds of the inner membrane called cristae, which increase the surface area for energy production. Mitochondria don't just turn out energy mindlessly. They respond to your activity, stress, nutrient levels, and even circadian rhythm. They're precise energy managers, constantly adjusting output based on cellular demand. Now here's where things get really interesting. Mitochondria contain their own DNA, separate from the DNA housed in the cell nucleus. This mitochondrial DNA, or mtDNA, is circular, resembling bacterial DNA more than human. And that's not a coincidence. According to the endosymbiotic theory, mitochondria originated over 1.5 billion years ago when a primitive eukaryotic cell engulfed a free-living bacterium. Instead of digesting it, the host cell formed a partnership. The bacterium became the mitochondrion, exchanging energy production for protection and nutrients. Over evolutionary time, most mitochondrial genes migrated to the nucleus, but a small set remains in the mitochondria, encoding essential components of the energy machinery. One fascinating twist: you inherit your mitochondria only from your mother because the mitochondria in the sperm are destroyed after fertilization. This allows scientists to trace maternal ancestry using mtDNA. Mitochondria are not just metabolic engines, they also play a pivotal role in immune signaling. During infection or injury, mitochondria help regulate the production of reactive oxygen species, or ROS, which can destroy invading pathogens, but in excess, ROS contribute to inflammation and tissue damage. Mitochondria also release molecular signals that alert the immune system, such as mitochondrial DNA fragments, or stress molecules like N-formyl peptides. These are detected as danger signals, much like bacterial invaders, because of mitochondria's ancient origins. And crucially, mitochondria influence whether an immune cell becomes inflammatory or anti-inflammatory. In T cells, for instance, a metabolic shift driven by mitochondria determines if the cell will attack or tolerate. In short, mitochondria act as immune command posts. They regulate inflammation, tissue healing, and pathogen defense, all while managing energy supply. But what happens when mitochondria stop working correctly? Mitochondrial dysfunction is linked to a staggering number of diseases, from neurological disorders like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's to cardiomyopathy, type 2 diabetes, and cancer. Because mitochondria are so critical for high-energy organs like the brain, heart, and muscles, damage here has profound effects. Some mitochondrial disorders are genetic, caused by mutations in mtDNA, or nuclear genes that affect mitochondrial function. Others are acquired over time through oxidative stress, toxic exposure, or chronic inflammation. When mitochondria break down, cells no longer can generate enough ATP. The result is a cellular energy crisis, leading to fatigue, pain, and degeneration. In many age-related diseases, we now recognize that the root issue may not just be in the brain or heart, but the mitochondria inside them. Mitochondria don't just keep cells alive, they also help decide when a cell should die. This process is called apoptosis, or programmed cell death. It's how the body eliminates damaged, infected, or unnecessary cells in a clean, non-inflammatory way. Mitochondria release a protein called cytochrome C into the cytoplasm, which activates caspases, the enzymes that dismantle the cell from within. This process prevents cancer by removing cells with DNA damage. It shapes the immune system by pruning unused cells, and it clears infected cells before viruses can spread. But if mitochondria misfire, either triggering too much cell death or not enough, the result can be devastating: autoimmune diseases, neurodegeneration, or cancer. So mitochondria are not just powerhouses, they're gatekeepers, deciding whether a cell should continue, repair, or self-destruct. So what have we learned? Mitochondria are astonishingly multifunctional. They produce over 90% of the body's energy, but also regulate immune response, cell death, aging, and disease progression. They contain ancient bacterial DNA inherited from our mothers and still behave in many ways like the free-living organisms they once were. They can signal inflammation, defend against pathogens, and sculpt the architecture of memory and health. These tiny organelles, invisible to the eye, are responsible not only for life's energy, but for life's direction. So next time you hear someone call mitochondria the powerhouse of the cell, remind them there's so much more than that. If you found this video illuminating, please like, subscribe, and share with someone curious about how science connects to everyday life. This is EQBloom, and we believe cellular intelligence is the foundation of emotional, mental, and physical well-being.